Mahadev Keshav Pro, can you read? Okay. Bro, you can read or is possible?
Hare Krishna, are you able to hear me?
Uh, yeah, your voice also low. Yeah, can you read today?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Now is it better?
Yeah, yeah, now it's better, but little
Yes.
low. Yeah.
Okay, I can come closer.
Yeah. Okay.
This does not mean that.
Okay, let me just tell what we covered yesterday and then we'll start. Okay. So yesterday in the third verse, Prabhupada initially spoke about the how everyone wants to avoid death. Because in the verse, third and fourth line says that we should leave this world and go to attain the eternal world. So for that, Prabhupada spent quite some time about death, means avoiding death. Hiranyakashipu means he's very powerful, very intelligent, very austere, very determined. He tried to avoid death, but he failed. And then we also discussed how nowadays also people try to avoid death by different ways, but they will fail for sure, and they will not give the result. And a lot of money is spent also in research about avoiding death, avoiding old age, etc. And then Prabhupada speaks about the life of sense gratification. It will keep one entangled in the material world, and no, they can never get out of the material world. So therefore, Prabhupada says one should not focus on sense gratification. One should not try to increase it, but rather they should try to focus on the spiritual life, by which they can get out of this world. Okay. Okay. Yes, bro, we can now start. This does not mean.
This does not mean that all activities for the maintenance of the body should be stopped. There is no question of stopping activities, just as there is no question of wiping out one's temperature altogether when trying to recover from the diseases. To make the best use of the bad bargain is the appropriate expression. The culture of spiritual knowledge, the necessities, the help of the body and mind. Therefore, the maintenance of the body and mind is required. If we are to reach our goal, the normal temperature should be maintained at 98.6 degrees. And the great sages and saints of India have attempted to do this by balanced program of spiritual and material knowledge. They never allow the misuse of human intelligence for diseaseless sense gratification.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, definitely. No, we hear that no, we are not this body, so no, we need not care for the body. But as a sadhaka, yeah, we are not this body, but we are in the body. We are in this body, and we need this body for performing devotional service. Like once Dwarkadish Prabhu and Vishaka Mataji, they were saying that no, so Maharaj is taking some treatment. So then Maharaj told, actually, I am very happy chanting Hare Krishna, and no, I don't need all these things. But for the sake of serving all of you, and no, for the sake of preaching, no, I have to do all these things. So a very advanced devotee, especially those who are bhava or beyond bhava, they can. I mean, they don't depend on the body for their devotional service. They can meditate on Krishna. They can chant in their mind, and so they can do like that. But as a sadhaka, we need a body. We need a body, mind, because if our body dysfunctions, mind also becomes affected. But for a very advanced devotee, that may not happen. So that way, we need the body to be in good health to do this devotional service. So that's why Prabhupada is saying it's not the temperature should be made zero, but the temperature should be made normal. So for that, there should be a balanced program. And sometimes it is better to say we are not this body, but more optimistic way to say is we are more than this body. That is also a good one. Okay. So We need material knowledge also, so for maintaining our health properly, maintaining our social relationships, emotional health. So for that material knowledge is needed. Of course, in the Vedic times, the material knowledge is given, but it is given in a way so that that doesn't go against the spiritual knowledge. In previous to previous verse, we saw how the current materialistic, the current education, modern education, how it is against spiritual knowledge. But in the Vedic times, both are integrated. So, yeah. So we may have desires. So we have both material desires and spiritual desires. Means this is a way, this are some broad principles to balance. So material desires, we uh, we can fulfill them, but in a regulated way. If they are permissible desires, if they are prohibited desires, then we have to restrain from them so that our devotional service is protected. But regulated, like the four regulative principles, etc. But regulated, if they are permissible desires, then we can fulfill them in a regulated way so that the mind and body is healthy and mind is satisfied, and with that we can do devotional service properly. And this is also a good example for the society, like someone is preaching and if somebody is very is renounced and he's very neglectful of his body, he's neglectful of his family, it doesn't become a good example, and people may not relate to him. He may have some advanced realizations, he may speak good wisdom, but if he's like that, then people may not relate to him in some way. And spiritual desires, we should act on the spiritual desires, and so that we'll become more closer to Krishna, and it will also purify our material desires. And we should also try to increase our spiritual desires by through association of devotees, through hearing and etc. Okay, so this is some pointers for balancing material life and spiritual life by Kadam Karan Maharaj. I think I have to share some.
I mean, the institution is very important, but as far as your personal, what you're doing is that you're just trying to affect people at the, you know.
Right. Yeah. 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 I mean, I realized that over the years, like, okay, go away from trying to manage an institution to getting involved with people.
Mm.
And that's been very nice, actually, I must say. My life improved a lot, and it actually was more what I really felt, yeah, really felt I should be doing.
What would you say to the point of, okay, we have you as the central of your community, and you're helping inspire your disciples and your followers, and we all have our, different spiritual masters and inspirations, but as Bhurijan Prabhu said, there's going to be a time when those devotees are not around anymore. What would you say to a community that is based around a person? How can they move forward when that person is no longer there? That
Well,
inspiration is no longer there.
yeah. I mean, of course, uh, I think we have to all be servants of Srila Prabhupada and of Lord Chaitanya, and very much be part of uh, this particular mission. Right?
Right.
Um, so I've made clear to my disciples, I've presented them with a little analogy of juggling three balls. And one ball is the ball of personal well-being, right? Okay, keep my hand in the screen. The other ball is,
I can make it bigger here.
yeah, no, it's good. Thanks. Yeah, it's not easy, like
Yeah.
talking about juggling balls.
Right.
It's already the way the camera goes. What is my left hand is
Is right.
is right. It's
Yes.
organ, so it's
Yeah.
already there's more than juggling balls, but I'm juggling balls and hands right now. And there's three balls. One ball is personal well-being. Another ball is my sadhana, my bhajan. You know, sadhana sounds a little bit of my duty to chant, but bhajan means to also with taste.
Hmm.
So I'm looking after my physical well-being, my body, my mind, my the place where I live, and all that. That's got to be right. Got to nourish me. Cannot be too austere for too long. Okay, some austerity, yes, but too much, not possible. Then I'm looking at my sadhana. I got to be able uh, to really get absorbed there and invest in it. And then I look at the mission. So I'm juggling these three balls: personal well-being, sadhana, and mission. Now, as it is in juggling balls, there's always one in the air, there's always one that you're catching, and always one that you're throwing. So it's like that. Sometimes my sadhana has been in the air for a while, and I have to catch it, and then I have to give it a push and throw it up again. Other times, my personal well being has been neglected. That's how it is now. I mean, for me, at the moment, I have 3 days of personal well being days. Like, ah, catching up because ever since I put that news out there, people have been after me. Whoa. So I'm in a house somewhere, unknown location.
Undisclosed. Indisclosed. Yeah.
That's right. Somewhere in hiding. And yeah, and resting for a couple of days, getting
Mm.
my visa for India. Um, so the juggling of these three balls is something I'm telling my disciples, trying to make sure they keep their connection with Srila Prabhupada, that they do something for this movement, make a contribution. Just like you're doing with your podcast, I
Yeah, this is one way, but there may be many devotees with different explanations, but some pointers on how to balance. Maharaj told about personal well-being, one's own bhajan or sadhana, and one's own contribution to the mission. Okay. Okay, so now we can do this exercise. So you can think of some devotees who perfected devotional service along with doing their material duties from Shastra. And then also you can think about some contemporary devotees, maybe ISKCON devotees or some examples who left their bodies in advanced Krishna consciousness while doing their material duties. Then some devotees from Shastra who committed serious mistakes while executing their material duties. Then you can think about what precaution should we take to avoid mistakes while executing our material duties. Material duties means doing job, taking care of family, dealing with relatives, etc. Okay. So you can take around 7 minutes and then we'll discuss. Okay, so for the first question. Yes, Rajpati Gopinath Prabhu Mataji, want to say? Can- Your voice is
Yes, Sivananda Sen.
okay. Okay, yes, thank you. Okay, Jai Shri Mataji. Jai Shri Mataji, you can answer.
Amrish Maharaj ji.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, Soumya Mataji.
Prabhuji, Narad Muni, when he was born as a son of a maid servant.
He has done material devotees. Okay, okay, like that. Okay, fine. But he took renounced order eventually.
But
But
when his mother
okay,
she passed away, then only he took
yeah,
renounce.
okay, 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 fine, fine. That phase is okay, fine. Ambarish Pran Prabhu. Sorry, your voice is not clear.
ध्रुव महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज
Okay, okay, fine. Thank you. Pushpa Mataji.
Prabhuji, Bhakti Vinod Thakur.
Okay, okay, thank you. Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Prabhu Yudhishthir Maharaj.
Mr. Maharaj. Okay, thank you. Okay. Rajpati Gopinath Prabhu, you want to add something? Mataji.
Kabir Ka Sagar Malik, like when they are doing their duties.
Okay, like that. Okay, fine. Yes, thank you. Okay. Okay. Shashwati Mataji.
Janak Maharaj.
Nanak Maharaj. Okay, thank you. Okay, so okay, we'll go to the next question. Okay, Shweta Mataji. you can answer. Can answer.
Prabhuji, Pundalik, the devotee of Vittal Bhavan.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, we will proceed to the next question. Okay, now list some contemporary devotees who left their bodies in advanced Krishna consciousness while doing their material duties.
Prabhu, small doubt, Prabhu. Contemporary means what, Prabhu? Like present devotees?
From ISKCON devotee, yeah, ISKCON.
Same like above question, but contemporary devotees like that
Yeah,
only. Yes, Prabhu.
you can tell from our Acharya's examples also, or present devotees also. You can tell.
That's what same like above question only,
Yeah,
but the
yeah, yes, yes.
Srila Prabhupada, we can tell, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay, in the Grihastha phase.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Okay. Okay, anyone else? Okay, can.
one Srila Prabhupada disciple who is Kunti Mataji.
Okay, okay, fine. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, okay, Soumya Mataji.
Prabhuji, Bhakti Teeth Swami Maharaj, Kadam Kanan Maharaj.
Yeah, but they're in renounced order. So someone who are not in renounced order. In one sense, they don't have any material duties. Maybe they have some institutional responsibilities, but we want more that. Okay, Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Prabhu Santa Tukaram Maharaj.
Okay, okay, fine. He's little very transcendental example, but fine. Means he did means okay.
But Santa Tukaram Maharaj also goes to the farm and do some
Yeah,
farm
means
work.
that's what he asked his wife also, that if she wants to come along with him. Yes, yes. Okay, Jai Shri Mataji.
Prabhu Satyavati Mataji.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Nice example. Appropriate. Radhika Mataji.
Prabhuji, there was this Prabhuji, na Stoka Krishna Prabhu that we hear about.
He was also actually a brahmachari. Of course, I
But
think.
then he married,
But
right,
yeah,
Prabhuji?
at last he married. Okay, fine. Take fine. Okay, Ashish Prabhu.
सत्यवती माता जी
Okay, fine. Thank you. Others also told. Okay. Yeah, like there are other examples like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, others. Okay, thank you. Okay, now for the third question. They were devotees, but no, they did some mistakes while executing their material duties. Okay, Vrajpati Gopinath Prabhu, Mataji.
Bharat Maharaj.
Yes, good example. Yes.
Dhritarashtra we can tell, Prabhu.
What? Dhritarashtra? No, he is not a devotee.
Okay.
But of course, he did material. Okay, fine. Okay, next. Anyone else? Yes, bro, we have some more example. Okay, I think.
Prabhuji, Manigriv, Nalkuvera, will they fall in that category?
No, they were not devotees when they committed.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, Prabhuji, yeah.
Okay, Anish, bro.
Prabhuji, can we say Parikshit Maharaj? He committed that mistake.
Okay, you can say in some way.
Yeah, but he snake in some
But
way.
of course, that's a Lord's arrangement, as
Mhm.
is said. But okay, to some extent, you can say in some way. Okay, Pratik Prabhu, Mataji, want to say?
Prabhuji Maharaj Uttanapad. So he didn't speak while Dhruva was being insulted.
Okay, fine. Take. Okay, Soumya Mataji.
Prabhuji, Dronacharya, can we say that? Dronacharya.
Acharya.
He took the side of,
Kauravas.
Kauravas, yeah. In the battle.
That's a little complex thing. That is, in some way, it is correct also. From a devotional point of view, it is wrong, but from a dharmic point of view, it is correct in some way. Yeah, okay. That's okay. In some way. Okay, Ambrish Pran.
So gambling match happens. So giving name of like for Draupadi he does. That's also wrong.
Who? Acha, you are saying Dronacharya.
Yudhishthira Maharaj
Yudhishthir Maharaj. Okay, that.
in
Okay,
gambling
fine.
match.
Okay, fine. Okay, some straightforward examples may be better. These are a little complex. Okay. Okay, Rajpat Gopinath, you have some another example? Or?
Priyavrata Maharaj
Yes,
after
Maharaj is a very good, straightforward example. Thank you. Okay. Okay, there are other examples like no Gopinath Patnaik. Yes, Pratik Pro, Mataji want.
Prabhuji, Indra and Brahma.
Yeah, Indra.
Govardhan Leela and Brahma Vamman.
Yes, that is also correct. Fine. Okay, thank you. Okay, now for the fourth question. What precaution should we take to avoid mistakes while executing our material duties? Okay, Anish Prabhu.
We should be conscious in our activities and not careless while executing them.
Yeah, correct. Okay, thank you. Yes, Rajpati Gopinath Prabhu, Mataji.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, that chanting written to the Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, reading the scriptures reminds us what is our original position, so that we'll be aware of that. What is like we can be treated the children or everything as a service, not for our own gratification.
Yes, thank you. Yes, so the goal will always be clear. We'll be aligned with the goal. Okay, Amrish Pran Prabhu.
This comes from like one of the lecture by Dagdish Prabhu. So he says that same activities we do in Grasta life also, which other people outside will be doing. But what makes the difference is ABCD. So association, book reading, chanting, and like deity worship or diet. So if these things are taken care, the same thing is done with the Shastra Chakshu, and it becomes spiritual. And another thing is that not to go in extremes.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay, Soumya Mataji.
Prabhuji, the same point which Mataji and Prabhuji said, keeping Krishna in the center, referring to the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Prabhuji, to avoid prajalpa in the form of mobile, in the form of entertainment, in the form of social media.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Okay, thank you. Also, while doing them, we can also try to take training on how to do them properly, so that we can avoid mistakes and we can learn from those previous mistakes of others or something. Yeah. Okay, Mahadev Krishna Prabhu can read human activities.
Human activity, this is the tendency towards the sense gratification, have been regulated in the Vedas under the principle of salvation. This system employs a religion, economic development, sense gratification, and salvation. But at the present moment, the people have no interest in religion and salvation. They have only one aim in life, sense gratification. And in order to achieve this in the end, they make a plans for economic development. Misguided men think that the religion should be maintained because it contributes to economic development, which is required for sense gratification. Thus, in order to guarantee a further sense gratification after death in heaven, there is some system of religious observations, but this is not a purpose of religion. The path of religion is actually meant for the self realization, and economic development is required just to maintain the body in a sound, healthy condition. A man should lead a healthy life with a sound mind just to realize vidya, true knowledge, which is the aim of human life. This life is not meant for working like an ash or for culturing avidya for sense gratification.
Okay, so now actually there is only artha and kama. People generally they just make money and that is they use it for sense gratification. So they don't know dharma and they don't know moksha. For them, moksha means sleeping. Somebody is telling like that. Yeah. So if you see even the so-called religion also they do it mainly for kama means no people it's a tourism going to holy place and this government also measures okay this holy place is there they measure how much like Ayodhya recently they made the temple and also they were very calculative they invested some particular amount of money and they want to see how much returns, how many people are coming, so how much economy is booming, and also that is a prominent calculation for them. So that is the problem. So what Prabhupada is saying. So even some people, so those who are dharmic also, they mainly they go to temple and no, they ask for so many things. No, they want money, they want no, they want success. So they ask for them. But actually, the dharma is also should be centered moksha or the bhakti as the center. Yes, Prabhu, you can continue the path of Vidya.
The path of Vidya is most perfectly presented in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which directs the human being to utilize his life to inquire into the absolute truth. The absolute truth is realized step by step as a Brahman, Paramatma, and the finally Bhagwan. The personality of Godhead, the absolute truth is realized by the broad minded man who has attained the knowledge and detachment by following the 18 principles of the Bhagavad Gita described in the purport of the Mantra 10. The central purpose of these 18 principles is attainment of a transcendental devotional service to the personality of Godhead. Therefore, all classes of man are encouraged to learn the art of devotional service to the Lord.
Yeah, continue.
The guaranteed path to the aim of Vidya is described by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which we have presented in English as the Nectar of Devotions. The culture of Vidya is summarized in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.14 in following verse. Tasmat ekena manasa bhagavan sattvatam pati prota kritayasya deya pujasya nityata. Therefore, with the one point attention, one should be constantly hear about the glory, remember and worship the personality of God, who is a protector of devotees. Unless the religion, economic development, and sense gratification aim towards the attainment of the devotional service of the Lord, they are all simply different forms of nescience, as the Upanishad indicates in the following mantras.
Yeah, we have to do dharma, artha, kama also along with moksha. But we have to understand also the purpose of all these also to help to support our endeavors for moksha. So that should be there. Okay. So we have seen three verses about Vidya and Avidya. So the first verse talks about Avidya leads to one kind of darkness. So Avidya there is the sense gratification, the knowledge promoting sense gratification, etc. And Vidya is mundane education, which actually equips one to do more sense gratification and which actually uh, teaches how sense gratification is the most important thing in life. That actually takes one to a greater darkness. So that is the first verse. And also in that Prabhupada specifically gives example of Vedavada Rathas, who tells that demigod worship is the whole and sole purpose of Vedas. And Maya Aparata Gyanas, who speculate about different conceptions of God and concoct different kinds of worship of God. So that is the first verse. Second verse talks about how Vidya means the 18 items of knowledge, and which told in Bhagavad Gita, and so then the which actually help in getting the devotional knowledge. And then the second is Avidya. Avidya is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song. We saw how it is a burden, and it becomes it becomes an obstacle for devotional service. And then Prabhupada told how because of Avidya there is nationalism, there is no support, there is a rejection of authority, no live-in relationships, etc. We discussed. And then there is wars. There are wars. So then in the third verse, Prabhupada initially talked about how one should not spend so much time on trying to avoid death, but one should focus on trying to get out of this world. And a life of sense gratification, it will keep one entangled, life after life in the material world, which is dark in one sense. Yeah, which is dark. So one should focus on the spiritual life or devotional life. And also, but there is a need for balance, because we need a good healthy body and sound mind to do devotional service. So there needs to be a balance also. Okay. Any questions on this three verses? Anything? Okay, Jai Shri Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have one question about salvation and liberation. But
Okay.
salvation and liberation are the same things or little difference in it?
Yeah, generally it is same only. Salvation is more used by Christians. Liberation
Okay.
is more used by Vedic context. Yeah. Liberation is more appropriate, but proper sometimes use salvation also.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, take so we'll proceed to the next verse, next series of verses. There are also three verses which are like which are structured similarly, but which talk about demigod worship versus worship of Supreme Lord. So that okay. Okay, so we'll recite. Pro, you can recite after me. Andam tamah pravishanti ya asambhutimupasate
अन्धतमप्रविशन्ति ये सम्भूति उपासते
ततो भूय एव ते तमो या उ सम्भूत्यं रता.
ततो ततो भूय एव ते तमो य उ सम्भूतामृता.
The translation is, those who are engaged in the worship of demigods enter into the darkest region of ignorance, and still more so do the worshippers of the impersonal absolute. So if you see the format is similar. Andam tamah pravishanti ya vidyam upasate vidyayam rata. So instead of avidya there is asambhuti, and instead of vidya there is sambhuti. Okay. So asambhuti means that which does not have any independent existence. It refers to demigod worship. And Sambhuti means Supreme Lord, who is independent, who is independent of everything, who is Swarat. So worshipping Sambhuti means is the worship of impersonal Brahman, Sambhuti, because this is Upanishad, so it in the context it is focusing on impersonal Brahman, but of course Prabhupada gives devotional interpretation. Okay. So first the section Prabhupada explains how demigods are subordinate to Krishna. Yes, Prabhupada, can read the Sanskrit word.
The Sanskrit word asambhuti refers to those who have no independent existence. Sambhuti is the absolute personality of Godhead, who is absolutely independent of everything. In Bhagavad Gita 10.2, the absolute personality of Godhead Sri Krishna says, Name vidu suragana prabhavam na maharshi aham adirahi devanam maharsinam se sarvesha. Neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. Thus, Krishna is the origin of the powers delegated to the demigod, great sages, and mystics. Although they are endowed with the great powers, these powers are limited, and thus it is very difficult for them to know how Krishna himself appears by his own internal potency in the form of man.
Yeah. Okay, so now here Prabhupada talked about how they have incomplete knowledge, and so uh, so you can take 3 minutes and can think of some pastimes where demigods forgot Krishna or Vishnu as Supreme Lord, and sages and mystics forgot Krishna or Vishnu as Supreme Lord. And think and tell. Okay, so for the first one, samples of demigods. Okay, Rajpati Gopinath Prabhu Mataji.
Brahma and Indra, Prabhu.
Brahma and Indra. Okay, fine. Okay, Jayashri Mataji.
Same, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay. Maybe you can tell some pastime also related when you're telling. Okay. Okay, Soumya Mataji.
That Parijat tree which Krishna wants to bring from Indra that
Okay,
time.
okay, thank you. Okay, Pratik Prabhu Mataji. Pratik Prabhu, you can tell. Mataji.
Guruji, I don't remember the name of the demon for whom Lord Shiva went to fight with Vishnu.
Okay, take fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay, thank you. Okay, Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Prabhuji, the Parvati Devi has in Rama Avatar, the Parvati Devi has
Okay.
and understand to the Ram,
Yeah,
go to the Ram's history to Ram.
She thought he became henpecked. Okay. Okay. Okay, now for the second question, some sages or rishis. Yes, Soumya Mataji, can tell.
Which is Durvasa Muni while Amrish Maharaj.
Okay, fine.
And one more, can we say this, Prabhuji? Shukracharya in Bali Maharaj pastime.
Yeah, fine. Okay, thank you. Okay, Mahadev Keshav Prabhu.
Shabari Muni.
Who?
Shabari Muni. Shabari Muni.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Yes. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So we understand how demigods, they don't have this conception of proper conception of, they sometimes forget Vishnu and all. So, yeah, so that's what here Prabhupada is saying, neither the hosts of demigods nor great sages know my origin or opulence in every respect.
Can we say Brigu Muni also, because he tried to test?
Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah, correct. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu Mahadev Keshav, you can continue reading.
Many philosophers and great rishi or mystics try to distinguish the absolute from the relative by their in tiny brain power. This can only help them reach a negative conception of the absolute without realizing any positive trace of the absolute. The definition of absolute by the negation is not a complete. Such negative definitions leads one to create a concept of one's own. Thus one imagine one imagine that the absolute must be a formless and without qualities. Such negative qualities are simply the reversals of the relative. The material qualities and are therefore also relative. By conceiving of the absolute in this way, one can at most reach the impersonal effulgence of the God, known as Brahman, but one cannot make a further progress to the Bhagwan, the personality of God.
Okay. Yeah, so among the 4th, 5th, and 8th verses of Ishopanishad, because all these three, they were describing the absolute truth. Can you say which verse describes the absolute truth through negation? There is some element of describing the absolute truth through negation.
The 4th, 8th, and what?
4th, 5th, and 8th. It's there on the screen. Yes, Ashish Prabhu.
The 8th verse, Prabhu, it says about
Okay, what is
the
negation?
opulence.
Yeah, which words indicate that negation?
It says such a person must factually know that the greatest of the all personalities of Godhead,
Hmm.
who is unembodied, omniscient, beyond reproach, without means,
Yeah,
pure and uncontaminated.
yeah, fine. But can you tell like how it is describing through negation?
Negation part. Negation
Okay,
is not there. So
okay, fine. Okay, Rajpat Gopinath Prabhu, Mataji, one time.
Prabhu, Akayam.
Yeah, good. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Okay, Pratik Prabhu, Mataji, want to add anything?
Prabhuji, in verse 8 only, or
No, among these three, which is describing through negation. So Mataji told Akayam and all. So that is correct.
I mean, what I can understand, Prabhuji, is mantra 5 that it is saying that he walks also, he does not walk. So, like, he's
So
negating
that
his
is
own
through
qualities.
contradiction. That is not through negation. Yeah.
Okay.
So that way. Okay, Anish, you want to add anything?
Prabhuji, apapa vidham in
Yeah,
8th
that's
mantra.
all. That's all.
Yes.
Kayam apapa with them. Yes, correct. Thank you. Yeah. So this. Yeah. So if you describe somebody, no, he's not black, he's not short, but he doesn't wear specs, and he's not naked. He doesn't walk naked. So then, but no, see, there is a lot of no scope for speculation. Okay, is he white complexioned or is he gold complexioned? No, like, or is he brown complexion? What does he wear? Whether he wears sunglasses or goggles or so, it's a relative description. There is no lot of scope for speculation. So that's why through negation you cannot approach Bhagavan, because Bhagavan is very specific. Even that can be seen even in Christianity and Islam also. So Christianity, God is seen as a judge, as a judge who punishes the sinful and who rewards the pious, virtuous, like that. In Islamic conception also, it's written like Allah is means Almighty. So means there is a lot of scope for speculation. Of course, this is not exactly negation, but it is some means there is the description is somewhat like that. Now very incomplete, you can say, not much negation, but yeah. And it's more given like uh, with respect to material world. So that way, yeah. So, but if you see our Sanatan, like the Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So if you see, there is very specific description of the Lord, like Brahma Samhita prayers, we chant the prayers, Nenam Kvanam Tam, and Angani is Sakalendra. So that's one. So there is specific description. Yeah. Yes, bro, you can continue. Such mental speculators.
Such a mental speculator do not know the absolute personality of Godhead is Krishna, that the impersonal Brahman is the glaring the effulgence of his transcendental body, or that the Paramatma, the super soul, is his all-pervading plenary representation. Nor do they know that the Krishna has his eternal form with his transcendental qualities of eternal bliss and knowledge. The dependent demigods and the great sages is imperfectly consider him to be a powerful demigods, and they consider the Brahman effulgence to be absolute truth. But the devotee of the Krishna, by dint of their surrendering unto him and their unalloyed devotion, can know that he is the absolute person and that everything emanates from him. Such a devotee is continuously render loving service unto Krishna, the fountainhead of everything.
Yeah. So those are mental speculators are the Gyanis. They only can understand Brahman, but they may appreciate Bhagavan, but through speculation you cannot know. For Bhagavan, you should have to hear in parampara and hear and accept the Shastra as it is. So then that what devotees do, and they accept Krishna and they realize Krishna in that way. Okay, yes, can continue.
In Bhagavad Gita 7.20-23, it is said that only an intelligent, bewildered person driven by a strong desire for sense gratifications worship the demigods for the temporary relief of a temporary problems. Since the living being in is a materially entangled, he has to be revealed from the material bondage entirely to attain the permanent relief on a spiritual plane where the eternal bliss, life, and knowledge exist. So the Upanishad therefore instruct that we should not seek a temporary relief of our difficulties by worshipping the dependent demigods, who can bestow only the temporary benefits. Rather, we must worship the absolute personality of Godhead Krishna, who is all attractive and who can bestow upon us a complete freedom from a material bondage by taking us back home, back to Godhead.
Yeah. So the temporary relief means sorry, the temporary problems means okay, I don't have much money, or I don't have a beautiful spouse, or I don't have very good children, or I don't have so much fame in the society and all. So these are all some temporary problems, and the demigods can offer temporary relief, means they can solve it for some time. But again, after that pious credits, everything is done, then again shine punya matya loke vishnu. Again one has to again have to do pious karma, and again the cycle continues. But the real problems are, birth, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi. So that those are the real problems, and Krishna can give a permanent solution to them. Yeah. Yes, bro, you can continue. It is stated.
It is stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.23 that the worshippers of the demigods can go to the planets of the demigods, and the moon worshippers can go to the moon, the sun worshippers to the sun, etc. And modern scientists are now venturing to the moon with the help of rockets, but this is not really a new attempt. With their advanced consciousness, human beings are naturally inclined to the travel in outer space and to reach other planets, either by spaceships, mystic powers, or demigods worships. In the Vedic scripture, it is said that one can reach other planets by any one of these three ways, but the most common way is by worshipping the demigods present presiding over a particular planet. In this way, one can reach the moon planet, the sun planet, and even Brahmaloka, the topmost planet in this universe. However, all planets in the material universe are temporary residences. The only permanent planet are the Vaikuntha Lokas. These are found in spiritual sky, where the personality of Godhead Himself predominates. Where the personality of Godhead Himself predominates. The Lord Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita 8.16, Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punar Avarta Rajuna Mam Upettete Konteya Punar Janmana Vidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of miseries wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, basically people do demigod worship to go to heavenly planets. Of course, there are other ways to go to heavenly planets by attaining mystic siddhis. Like Narad Muni, by his mystic siddhis, he goes to different planets. And the Vimanas, we see the Pushpaka Vimana. Ravana used to go. Of course, there is description of Kardama Muni. He takes Devhuti to a heavenly abode, and the aeroplane itself is a heavenly aeroplane. So that way. Yeah. But if we say again, no, they can go, but however, all these planets are temporary residences. The permanent is the Vaikuntha Loka. And also Bhagavatam, it is said that actually taseva heto prayate kovido nalabhyate yad brahmatam uparyada. So if somebody is intelligent, so one should aim for something that cannot be obtained even by going to the heavenly planets or even the lower planets. By going throughout the universe, what cannot be obtained, so one should aim for that. So, yeah. So that is the devotional service of the Lord. So whatever the happiness and distress that one can get in this universe, it will go away by that time. So therefore one should aim for something that is beyond all this. Okay, yes, bro, you can continue.
Sri Upanishad points out that one who worships the demigods and attains to their material planets still remains in the darkest region of the universe. The whole universe is covered by the gigantic material elements. It is just like a coconut covered by a sail and half filled with water, since it is covering is airtight. The darkness within is dense, and therefore the sun and moon are required for illumination. Outside the universe is the vast and unlimited Brahmajyoti expansion, which is filled with the Vaikuntha Lokas. The biggest and highest planet in the Brahmajyoti is Krishna Loka, or Golok Vrindavan, where the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna himself resides. Lord Sri Krishna never leaves Krishna Loka, although he dwells there with his eternal associates. He is omnipresent throughout the complete material and spiritual cosmic manifestation. This fact has already been explained in Mantra 4. The Lord is present everywhere, just like the sun, yet he is situated in one place, just as the sun is situated in its own undeviating orbit.
Yeah. Okay, just will let me get the universe picture. Yeah. So if you're able to see, so there are this, yeah, so these are planetary systems are there. So these are 7 lower planetary systems, and in middle there is the Bhuloka, and then there are the upper planetary systems. 4, 5, 6, 6 upper planetary systems. And here, like till like Swargaloka, so we need sun and moon. So after that, actually there are self-effulgent beings, so they don't need sun and sunlight. So in that way, this is considered as a dark one, because that's why universe is dark, because it needs its sun and all. But if you go above, oh, there is no spiritual world. Maybe that is not there. Okay, so above the spiritual planets are there, so there they don't require light. So that way, this our universe is called Tamaha, and so the spiritual world is denoted as Jyotirga. So that's why it is called Tamasoma Jyotirgam. Oh. Yeah, so this spiritual world is there. This is the Jyotirgam. This is a world with which is of light, and this is the universe. So people do demigod worship on earth, and then they go to Swarga. Then their pious credits got exhausted, and then again they will go. They will keep on, the cycle keeps on rotating. In one sense, punascharvita charvanam. So they will be just stuck up in the in this material universe, which is dark. Okay. Okay, Brajpati Gopinath Prabhu, Mataji has some question.
Why higher planets, Bhuvarloka, Rakshasas?
Why Bhuvarloka? Acha, in this image it is written, huh? Bhuvarloka, Rakshasas and ghosts. I need to find out exactly because I can't. I need to find out. Yeah, so the demigod worship, it does not actually make us fully happy, because it solves only temporary solutions for temporary problems. And again, it does not solve all the problems. It does not solve the main problems, and the boons are temporary and limited. And on the top also it increases material attachment, and it takes us away from Krishna. So that is the problem with demigod worship. Okay, you can take around maybe 7 minutes. Yeah, 7 minutes. Okay, you can take 6 minutes. Sorry. And you can think about some examples of demigod worshippers. Who worship demigods, but they were not fully happy. Still, they had many other problems. Their benedictions are temporary. Their material attachment increased, and they became averse to Krishna or his devotees. We'll discuss. 6 minutes. Okay, so for the first one, examples, we'll take maybe two examples. Okay, Sharon Ji.
Prabhuji, Hiranyakashipu. He got benediction from Brahma, and that he will not killed by anyone under any circumstances. But he was not happy because his son Prahlad Maharaj is worshipping Krishna. That's why he was not happy.
Okay, thank you. Yes, very appropriate example. Okay, Brajpati Gopinath Prabhu, Mataji.
Shri Ravana.
Ravana.
Ravan.
Okay. Fine. In what sense he was not happy?
In what sense?
Actually, he wants to conquer the kingdom, conquer the world.
Yeah.
And he wants somewhat immortality also.
Okay.
But he was very unhappy, even though he acquired so many things. So he's unhappy, and he's finally finished by Lord Rama.
Okay. Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, now for the second one. Oh, even demigod worshippers had many problems. Okay. Okay, so Pushpa Mataji, want to answer second one?
No, Prabhuji, sorry, third one.
Third one? Yes, you can tell.
Ravana, Prabhuji.
Okay. Ravana, in what sense?
Sorry, yes, Ravana.
How the benedictions he got are temporary? Because
He is the worshipping of Lord Shiva. He was the worship Lord Shiva.
Yeah.
But he can't live more.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So it is only for one life or something. Okay, that way. Okay, Mahadev Keshav Prabhu, want to answer second one?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in Samudra Manthan Leela, even Devta gods Amrut.
Yeah.
But after that, even in the past times of Bali Maharaj, he agreed to face so many difficulties.
Yes. Okay, fine. Okay, demigod worshippers, demigods in one sense, fine. Okay. Soumya Mataji, the second one.
Prabhuji, can we say Vishwamitra Muni when he started means feeling envious of Vasishtha Muni?
Yeah. He got blessings, but still he wanted more things. He had still problems also. He got allurements. Even demigods also tested him. Fine. Okay, so for third one, anyone wants to tell anything? Yes, Vrajpati Gopinath Prabhu Mataji.
Hiranyakashipu, he felt like he's almost immortal, but it is not happened because Krishna is more intelligent than him.
Yeah.
He fulfilled all the things which he asked, and he just finished it.
Okay. Fine, thank you. Okay, Soumya Mataji.
Prabhuji, Holika. Holika got
Yes.
the power.
Okay, fine. That's a good example. Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll take now for the fourth one. Material attachment gets increased by getting benedictions from demigods. Okay, Ashish Pro, want to tell for fourth one?
Bhasmasur wanted to steal the Parvati Mata by achieving the benediction from Lord Shiva.
Yes. Good example. And Anish Pro?
Yes, what Ashish Prabhu said that, and Hiranyakashipu also, when he got that benediction, he got more powerful, his pride increased.
Yeah.
Actually, Prabhuji, Hiranyakashipu can be come under all the categories.
Yeah, of course, yeah. That
Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Of course, in Bhagavatam, we also see the example of Pururava. So he wanted Urvashi, so Urvashi comes with some condition, and he accepts it, but again she goes away. But still, he wanted more. He wanted for more time, and he becomes very desperate and all. Yeah. Okay. Then last, become averse to Krishna and his devotees. Okay, Pratik Prabhu Mataji.
Prabhuji, in case of Bhasmasur, he got benediction from Lord Shiva. Then he went after Lord Shiva only to
Okay.
destroy him.
Okay. Shiva is a devotee of Krishna.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Okay, Ashish Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Mayavadis, they worship demigods and they are adverse to Krishna.
Achha, that way you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
now we'll come to know how they actually don't worship. They're pseudo worshippers, but not actually. But fine. Okay, that is also fine as of now. Okay, Pushpa Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hiranyakashyap.
Okay, yeah, to Prahlad and he was ours. Okay, fine. Yeah, we can, because time is running out. We'll continue. Okay. Yes, Mahadev Keshapur can continue.
The problems of the life cannot be solved simply by going to the moon planet or to some other planets above or below it. Therefore, Sri Upanishad advise us not to bother with any destination within this dark material universe, but try to get out of it and reach the effulgent kingdom of God.
Yeah.
There are many pseudo
Okay,
worshippers.
just read. So till now, Prabhupada has described about the demigod worship. So how asambhuti will lead to anda tamah pravishanti. So that is what is described. Now, Prabhupada will talk about something which actually appears to be the worship of Supreme Lord, but actually that will take one to a more hellish existence, a more darkest existence that is more worse than demigod worship. Yeah. So he talks about pseudo worshippers and also impersonalists. Yes, start. There are many.
There are many pseudo worshippers who became religionists only for the sake of name and fame. Such pseudo religionists do not wish to get out of this universe and reach the spiritual sky. They only want to maintain the status quo in the material world under the garb of worshipping the Lord.
Yeah.
The atheistic and impersonalists lead us such to live.
Yeah, just I need to explain something. Then. Okay, so in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 16th chapter, this verse is there. Atma Sambhavita Stabdha Dhana Mana Madhanvita. So name and fame. So Yajante Nama Yajnaste means they only worship for the sake of worshiping. Dhambena Avidipurvakam. Self-complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes proudly perform sacrifices in name only, without following any rules or regulations. So if you see people make a show of religion, so this is referring to a show of religion. So that is pseudo religion. So for material purposes. Earlier demigod worship, it's a bona fide religion. It's given in the Vedas and all for material purposes. This is a pseudo religion for material purpose. Like somebody coming to temple as a tourist spot. They take selfies, they eat, they shop, they play. But if you see from a external, from some third party, they may say, oh, they are very religious. Sometimes people treat festivals as recreation, like the Ganapati festival. They play all movies, all Bollywood music, or no, they uh, other people outside also, they treat festivals as family get-togethers. They eat, celebrate, they watch movies, but no, there is no worship of the demigod, or no, there is no hearing about the demigod, nothing. They just want another, they think festivals as another avenue for sense gratification, or to show others that someone is good. This is technically called as virtue signaling. So to show that someone is very pious, religious, or sometimes to cover up some frauds, etc. You see Birla temples and all. So it is, I heard it is like built with black money, etc. or like politicians attending Rath Yatra, religious ceremonies. So all these things means they all appear religious, but that is not actually they appear religious, but they are not actually practicing religion, and their purpose is again materialistic. And business people sponsoring different things like Bhagavad Gita contest, they all do. So the business people are sponsored because Bhagavad Gita contest many children participate, so they'll get more publicity. They may not have any pious intention also. And also pompous religious ceremony, the recent ceremony which costed 4.25 lakh crores. No, okay, so this is the wedding business turnover. Now means religious ceremonies also they do pompous so that they want to show that they are wealthy. It's not that they do properly religious ceremonies with all the rituals and they give charity. They don't do all these things. So these all things they appear that they're very religious, but actually their intentions are also not religious and they don't follow the religion also properly. So this is pseudo religionists. Yes, bro, you can continue. The atheists.
The atheist and impersonalist leads as a foolish pseudo-religionist into the darkest religions by the preaching the cult of atheism. The atheist directly denies the existence of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and impersonalists support the atheist by stressing the impersonal aspect of the Supreme Lord.
Yeah. So atheists, they say God does not exist. Religion is useless. They say why you have to go to demigod, to ask for no success and all. You ask science means why you have to go to demigod to get money. You ask science, we will educate you and you can work and you can earn money. So and they say religion is concocted by the sages or somebody to keep society in order like that. And the atheists they provide alternatives to religion like community activities, nationalism, social service like that. Or they may also say meditation, prayer. They will tell all scientific reasons or psychological reasons. It calms your nervous system. All these things. It can make you less reactive to negative emotions and less angry. All these things. Or they say you can meditate on yourself. You can just pray. You can just pray. No need to pray to God. You can just pray. Praying helps like that. They say. And how impersonalists support them? They say Manav Seva as Madhav Seva. So like these things they do, and so there is one popular mission which does these things. Okay, now another impersonalist or whatever, he says in ancient times temples were built as energy centers which reverberated with a powerful field of energy and were not intended as places of prayer. It was customary for people to visit the temples in the morning and spend some time there. It was customary for people to visit temples in the morning and spend some time there so that they may imbibe the energy before they go about their day. This was seen as a necessary preparation for a person to maintain a pleasant atmosphere within themselves throughout the day. So he says actually the deities were introduced long later. They were not originally there in the prayer temples. This is another famous religionist, Visha Foundation. Then there is Tilak, who misrepresented Gita to justify freedom struggle, or no. He started this Sarvajanik Ganesh Utsav. Earlier, people used to celebrate properly in their homes, but this mass celebration, things are very diluted. It became more materialistic in one sense. So this is all they used religion for materialistic purposes. Means the materialistic purposes also they made a show of religion. They did not follow religion properly, and they used it for materialistic purposes. So these are all examples of pseudo religion. Atheists give some alternatives, and the impersonalists they support it by giving philosophical support, etc. These two were there, but yeah. Okay. Yes, you can continue. Thus far,
we have Thus far, we have not to come across any mantras in Sri Upanishad in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead is denied. It is said that he can run faster than anyone. Those who are running after other planets are certainly persons, and if the Lord can run faster than all of them, how can he be impersonal? The impersonal conception of the Supreme Lord is another form of ignorance, arising from an imperfect conception of the absolute truth.
Yeah,
The
continue.
ignorant pseudo. I can start. I can go forward.
Yeah.
The ignorant pseudo religionist and the manufacture of so-called the incarnation who directly violate the Vedic injunctions are liable to enter into the darkest region of the universe because they mislead those who follow them. These impersonalists generally pose themselves as a pose themselves as the incarnation of the God to foolish the persons who have no knowledge of Vedic wisdom. If such foolish men have any knowledge at all, it is more dangerous in their hands than ignorance itself. Such impersonalists do not even worship the demigods according to the scripture recommendation. In the scriptures, there are recommendations for the worshipping the demigods under the certain circumstances. But at the same time, these scriptures states that there is a normal known there is normally no need for this. In Bhagavad Gita 7.23, it is clearly stated that the results of derived from the worshipping the demigods are not permanent, since the entire material universe is impermanent. Whatever is achieved within this darkness of the material existence is also impermanent. The question is how to obtain the real and permanent life.
So there are three things described. One is right demigod worship is right worship plus right understanding plus right purpose. Means pious materialists. So means they have desires like no, they want to go to heaven and all. So they follow the Vedic procedure and they have understanding of no what are demigods and no they get power, they have powers and no they grant, they know the scriptural stories and they do that. Then there is a show of demigod worship. This you can call it as actually pseudo demigod worship. This you can actually call it wrong demigod worship. Yeah, then there is another thing, pseudo demigod worship or show of demigod worship. They do wrong worship because they just want to show, so that's why they don't follow everything properly. And they have wrong purpose. They want either for recreation or no, some show off and etc. And they may not have any conception, or they may have some conception of demigods. It may be incomplete, may not be wrong, but wrong demigod worship, which is done by impersonalists. So it's a wrong worship and their wrong conception. So they say that no, the demigods are Brahman only. When Brahman comes in contact with mode of goodness, so demigods are formed. So that's why you can worship any demigod or you can even worship Vishnu. So that's a very wrong conception. Plus they have wrong purpose. Their purpose is because we cannot directly meditate on Brahman, so we will worship Brahman in this form of demigod because we are currently in this no Vyavaharika stage. So like that this. Okay. So these are three ones. So the third one, it appears that they are worshipping Brahman, means they are worshipping absolute truth. But worshipping absolute truth in this way, it will take them more darker. It is more worse than proper demigod worship. That is what this verse is saying. Okay, so the differences we can say like the right demigod worship, which is the Vedic demigod worship, and then the wrong demigod worship, which is done by impersonalists. So right demigod worship, it gives the worshipper more faith in scriptures, but wrong demigod worship, it there may be faith in scriptures, but it's no, there's a lot of degraded concoction of misinterpretation of the scriptures. So that is it's not a proper faith. And proper worship, if they do, they'll get piety as well as sukruti, because no, they chant the names of Vishnu and all. So they get piety as well as sukruti. Improper worship, so they disrespect Vishnu because their conception is wrong and they commit sin also. That way, yeah. And yeah, so this proper worship, they accept authority of demigods and Supreme Lord, and they develop gratitude and all. I think, yeah, because they have wrong conception, so they are indirectly they are deriding demigods and Supreme Lord. Okay, I think this last one is not applicable. I think we have to separate it. Okay, that is so that's why wrong demigod worship is it's more worse than the proper demigod worship. Okay. So it is said that they may go to hell because of this, because they're promoting the wrong philosophy and all. So that's why. Okay, yes, we can continue. The Lord states.
The Lord stated that as soon as one reaches Him by devotional service, which is the one and only way to approach the personality of Godhead, one attains a complete freedom from the bondage of birth and death. In other words, the path of salvation from the material clutches fully depends on the principles of knowledge and detachments gained from the serving the Lord. The pseudo-religionists have neither knowledge nor detachments from the material affairs, for most of them wants to live in the golden shackles of the material bondage under the shadow of philanthropic activities discussed as religious principles. By a false display of religious sentiments, they present a show of devotional service while indulging in all sorts of immoral activities. In this way, they pass as spiritual masters and devotee of the God. Such, such violators of the religious principles have no respect for the authoritative acharyas, the holy teachers in the strict disciplic succession. They ignore the Vedic injunctions or Acharyopasna. One must worship the Acharya and the Krishna statement in Bhagavad Gita 4.2. Evam parampara prapta. This supreme science of the God is received through the disciplic succession. Instead, the misleads the peoples in general. They themselves become so-called acharya, but they do not even follow the principles of acharyas.
Yeah. So
These
we know the pastime in CC that Prakashananda Saraswati calls Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're all very sentimental, bhavuk. So that is what Prabhupada is indicating. And they make they under the shadow of philanthropic activities disguised as religious principles. So Prabhupada is referring to the Manav Seva, Madhav Seva. So that kind of thing. And immoral activities, like even sometimes that incident of Shankaracharya, it happened, that Shankaracharya, he once went to the house or shop of a person who makes liquor. So he offered liquor, and so Shankaracharya told, no, this is Brahman and I am Brahman, so I am taking it. So Brahman is merging into Brahman. So like that he took. So then all his followers also started taking. So then next day Shankaracharya went to a smith shop. So then he took that, because he's Lord Shiva, so that molten metal. So he took and he drank, which is very hot and all. So then they could not imitate. So like this, some impersonalist leaders, they authorize eating non-veg and all, because that is also Brahman and we are also Brahman. So like that they authorize sometimes. Okay, yes, bro, we can continue these roles.
These rogues are the most dangerous elements in the human society because there is no religious governments. They escape the punishments by the law of the state. They cannot, however, escape the law of the Supreme, who has clearly declared in Bhagavad Gita that enemies, demons, and the grab of religious propagandists shall be thrown into the darkest regions of hell. Bhagavad Gita 16.19-20, Sri Upanishad confirms that these pseudo-religionists are heading towards the most obnoxious place in the universe after the completion of their spiritual master's business, which they conduct simply for sense gratification.
So if you see the Ramayana, in one context, it is described in Ramayana that one Shudra started actually reading Shastra, which is not allowed for him. So Lord Ram instantly punished him by killing him. So, and we see in Bhagavatam also when Parikshit Maharaj is there, when Kali tried to do harm to cow and bull, which is dharma and all. So then immediately Parikshit Maharaj punished. So that's what, if there is a religious government, then it can be controlled. But now there is no religious government, but Prabhupada is saying that the laws of karma and the Lord will punish them. Okay, so we will briefly try to understand what is this impersonalism. So impersonalism, it can refer to either Brahmavad or Mayavad. So Mayavad, why it is no very alluring. So conditioned soul means he has a desire to enjoy and avoid suffering. So the best way to decide to do this is by becoming God. Becoming God means you can enjoy anytime, anything and everything, and avoid suffering without any limitations rules. So that's why one of it is very alluring. And another also reason is because Shankaracharya presented the Mayavad philosophy in a very attractive way. Attractive way means very logical, very technical, very philosophical, which will be appeal to many, like those who are philosophically inclined and all. It's very logical. Though the clarity and it's not there, but it appears very logical and all. So that is another reason why it appears why it was very attractive that time, and even sometime now also in some sense. So originally it was called as Advaitavad, and it was introduced by Adi Shankaracharya. So they say Brahman, when it comes in contact with goodness, it creates avatars and demigods. And when it comes in contact with the mode of passion, it creates living beings, jivas. And when it comes in contact with ignorance, it is dead matter. So, but everything, all these things are Brahman only. This. So everything, everyone is Brahman. So that's why it is Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. So something like that. Means the Jagan is also Brahman, but it's a false because it is a false transformation of Brahman. Like that they say. So they say 3 levels of consciousness. Because we are seeing Jagat as Jagat, but not as Brahman. So that's why that is false. So Pratibhashika means the Jiva is illusion and identifies with the body and world. Then Vyavaharika. So Jiva understands through knowledge that he or she is Brahman, but they know that they are still in illusion. And Paramadhika means Jiva is freed from illusion and they become God. So once they take sannyas and all, Nara Narayano Bhavet, and like that. Dandagrahana Matrena Nara Narayano Bhavet. So their practice sadhana is what? They practice karma yoga based on Vedas. And once they attain perfection, so they think that they can become Brahman. So they study Upanishads and all. And then they take sannyas and get liberation and become Brahman. So that is their philosophy. Dandagrahana Matrena Nara Narayano Bhavet. So then they come to this Vyavaharika state, Paramadhika states. So when they were studying scriptures and all, then they are Vyavaharika states. So later in their sadhana, they also added bhakti because karma and jnana are dry. And they also do demigod worship. So they think because Brahman, we cannot conceive in as a human being. It's difficult to conceive of Brahman. So for that sake, they worship Brahman through demigod worship or Vishnu. So for them, both demigod worship and Vishnu worship are same. Both are ways to get purified so that they can understand about Brahman. They can attain Brahman. So for them, the problem is that's what Vishnu is made of Maya. Because Vishnu is coming through mode of goodness. So Vishnu is Maya. So that is the problem. That is why it is offensive. So problem with the philosophy in Advaitavad is how Brahman can come through under the three modes or Maya. So that is then what Maya becomes superior to Brahman. So that's why Prabhupada also how incarnation of God has a toothache. If you are Brahman and you are coming in contact with Maya, how? So that is one thing. And different Vaishnava acharyas have different ways of refuting using Shastra and logic. Madhvacharya gives a different refutation. Jiva Goswami gives a different refutation. Ramanujacharya gives a different refutation. So all they give different refutations. Yeah. So when our Vaishnava acharyas refuted, so then they actually change the philosophy. So they want to avoid this concept of Brahman coming in contact with Maya. So then what they told, yeah, so they invented from Advaitavad, they invented Parichedavad. So they tell air in pot. So they gave this pot analogy. So then there is air inside the pot and then there is air outside the pot. So similarly, they say within your body, Atma is Brahman and outside is Brahman, for that absolute truth. So they say body is just like the pot. So when the pot breaks, so then this Brahman will be freed from illusion and merge with Brahman, like that they say. Then Pratibimbavad. So they say material world is and jivas are reflection of Brahman. So that's what they say. Okay, that. So that is another thing they try to concoct. And then Neo Mayavad means they say everything is illusion. That means it's not like Brahman is coming in contact with Maya. We are in illusion. We are all imagining things. We are this body, all this. Even Vishnu is also illusion. It's all illusion. So then Maya is fully avoided. So then there is no conception of Brahman coming in contact with Maya. So if you want to get rid of this illusion, you have to study scriptures and follow the Jnana Yoga and all. Then you'll become Brahman again. Then you'll realize that you are Brahman again. So now this Neo Mayavad, so now what they say you do social service also. Because earlier Advaitavad, they were giving sadhana as Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and all. Now this Neo Mayavad, they say Mano Seva, Madhav Seva. Because everyone is Brahman. So you are serving if you're serving the poor people, then that is you're serving God. So they say Daridra Narayan Seva and all, and they add some nationalism flavor, etc. So this is the current Mayavad, but this is the history and this is their philosophy, etc. So that's why they do demigod worship, but they see that as for purification to attain Brahman, and they equate it to Vishnu worship. So that's why it is more worst, because they are not doing as per the Vedas with the conception given by the Vedas. So that's why it is more worse than the proper Vedic demigod worship. Okay, now there is Brahmavad. So Brahmavad is attain Brahman but not become Brahman. Means they want to merge with Brahman. They are Atmas, but they want to merge with Brahman, but they don't want to become. They know that Atma cannot become Brahman. So merge their consciousness with Brahman. So that is their thing. So they do Karma Yoga and they get purified and then they perform Jnana Yoga. We will study this in Bhagavad Gita more detailed way. Then they also have an element of bhakti so that they can focus on the absolute truth. So they also do some bhakti also. So their thing is they also accept that there is Bhagavan form. Unlike Mayavad, they don't say that Bhagavan is formed because of Maya and all. They accept that Bhagavan is also a proper manifestation of absolute truth, but they think that they are attracted towards Brahman manifestation of absolute truth. So that is Brahmavad. Brahmavad is a proper process. There is no offense and all. Okay, so any questions on what we discussed? Yes, Pratik Mata, some question.
Really, can you again tell about the right demigod worship in case of pious materialist? Because I mean, there were three components in that: right worship, right understanding. So, what does that actually mean about? I mean, in regards to right worship and right understanding.
Yeah, right worship in the sense the Vedic process. Of course, again in the Vedas there are two vidhis. One is Yajna Vidhi and another is Upasana Kand. So they have to do the proper process. Like if there is Ganesh Puja, there is a proper in some Puranas and all. It is described how to worship Ganesh on Ganesh Chaturthi. So that has to be done properly. And proper conception means okay, what is Ganesh and it's not like Ganesh is some businessman you can do. They also should have proper conception of what are the pastimes and what is his original identity. All that they have to have, and know what you should pray, how you should pray, because there are some proper prayers also, how to pray and all. That way. But that is condemned because it keeps the person again in the same universe. So that way it is condemned in the first line. That is right demigod worship. Wrong is because of this all concocted philosophy, etc. Okay. Any more questions?
I mean, do they understand that, like, as you give example of Lord Ganesh, so that he is the part and parcel of Krishna? So, is that the right understanding they should have?
They should not have a wrong understanding. That is what Krishna condemned. They should ideally not see, they should accept actually, ideally, like, they should accept Vishnu. They should accept Vishnu is the Supreme Lord. They may not have understanding of Krishna because Krishna is not described in the Vedas. Krishna is mainly described in Bhagavatam and some bits and pieces in some other Puranas. So they should ideally accept Vishnu, especially those who are performing Karma Kand and all. So they know Vishnu is the supreme and Ganesh is a demigod, and we are worshipping Ganesh. So like that. They should not have understand like Ganesh is the supreme and all that. So that is wrong. That is what is condemned in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, any other question? Okay, so in the next class we will continue with the next verse. We will also see now as devotees how to deal with Mayavadis and all. Okay, so thank you very much. Shri Ishopanishad ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Panchayati Patara Thank you.
Hare Krishna.